Hi everyone, welcome to another video from Card Crafts by Lily. Lillian Withers here, and I hope you enjoy this class today. It's our little double slider card. As you can see, this is a technique, or sorry, this is one that I learned about a year ago. It was our downline taught it as a training night. So this little birthday card, this is from the celebration. If you haven't already got this, you'll not be able to purchase it. But this little one is from the celebration one, and this one is from a retiring stamp set, currently retiring stamp set, which is Yippee Skippy. You can still hopefully purchase this if it's not sold out, but that's basically what we're going to be doing today. It's not really sticky, it's the way I'm holding it. Okay, and this one, Mr. and Mrs. is a beautiful little wedding card. Let's see, can you see that? To, from, and wishing you both a very special day. And I've also decorated the back of it. I'll put all the details of stamp sets and materials onto my blog if you want to check that out. And the one we're going to be doing today is this one. Let me open that up. Here we go. I just love the colours in this. That's for the two of you on your perfect day, to and from. The wee cake is just gorgeous. Look at that. So let's get started. It's not as difficult as it looks, says I, fingers crossed. Right, we have a piece of the crisp cantaloupe cardstock. This is retiring. This year it's on the retirement list, so if you want it, it is gorgeous. I'm quite sad to see it go. You need to check the retirement list and see about purchasing it. And I'm using the Simply Scored tool. It has its own little place markers to assist your scoring, and its own little stylus. A small ball end and a large one. So we're going to score, it's quite simple, 3 scores, 2 3/4 inches, 5 1/2 inches, and 8 1/4 inches. Simple as that. That's all the scoring done. You may need to trim. I find usually with this, once I fold it, but it has a bit of a bevel in the end there, so I'm going to take a little, just a hair's breadth off that end, not the end with the flap, mind you, just at the other end. So I'll just use my Stampin' Trimmer quickly to do that. That's it, it's just a tiny wee bit off the end to make it sit a little bit better. That should, let's see, yeah, and that's the one, that's exactly what I need. So what I'm going to do now is use the Something Lacy stamp. It's the background stamp, absolutely gorgeous. Ink it up with the baked brown sugar and give it a really good inking. So just use up the filling. I'm a bit noisy at my crafting, aren't I? And okay, this is the way I do it. I'm folding it up into the shape I want it. Set it down. Set one side down first. Set the other side down. A bit of kitchen roll over the top. Just give it a wee rub. Make sure you don't let the card stock slip, or that's obviously going to smudge your image. There we go, nice and tidy. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it, love it, love it. Another noisy inking session. Right, now we need to make the mechanism that makes the card slide. To do that, we go back to our card base. I tend to keep the little flap to the left. That's the piece that you're going to stick down. The slider mechanism, if you use the word window pinch on the panel farthest away from the little flap, kind of center it up, and you're not taking the whole, you're not using the whole of the word window, just a little bit of it. As I say, center it up and give it a little nip, both ends. Okay, the mechanism will sit between those two pieces, and turn the cardstock back round the way it was. I'm using the 1 3/4 inch punch. It doesn't strictly matter. Again, with our little small flap to the side, I'm using the center panel now. Again, line it up, sort of in between the panel lines itself. Line the punch up, and again, I'm not taking very much out of it, about that much. It's grand, and that's that. So, what I'm using for the slider mechanism this time is the Stampin' Up! Cellophane bag. See, these are the large ones. They're 6 inches by 8 inches. And you're basically taking one of these, and on the open end, slide it into your trimmer and trim it to 1 1/4 inch. You'll be left with a little piece. Slide that back in before I lose it. A little piece like this, and what you'll do is just trim a bit off the end, just a small piece. That will allow you to open it up. Now, I tend to be conscious of where this piece is. That would have been the side fold in the bag, and I keep the sharp bit to the outside of the wrap. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of sticky strip on it. I stick this to the side that I call the sharp bit. You can't really see it. I can really way of showing you that. That's the fold of the bag. I keep the fold on the outside. Put the sticky strip on that side. It's very hard to see. Try to make sure it doesn't come off the end. If it does, give it a little trim. I can't do this with my nails, and I'm not much better with this piercing tool either. There we go, yay! Okay, let's see. Turn this round. That's the way the card will sit upright. I wrap this around here, bring it down, kind of to the middle. I place this piece down. This is the bit with the sticky strip on it. Now, I'm always fiddly at this. I'm rubbish. Let me get this lined up. It's just that it's so hard to see. Don't pull it tight because you need it to be able to move, to turn around to slip. So pull it tight and then release it just a tiny bit. Line it up, stick it down. If you have too much excess on the top, trim it off, but I actually haven't. That's okay. And just make sure that it slips, which is perfect. I tend to bring the join down to the middle. I don't know why, but that sort of works for me. Okay, that's that bit done. Right, now we're going to make the first of our panels. For this I'm using Pear Pizzazz and Crisp Cantaloupe ink pads. The Crisp Cantaloupe, as I mentioned before, will be retiring. I'm using the little stamp set, Your Perfect Day. Absolutely beautiful. Really love it. It's a photopolymer one. So easy to do, especially if you're a new crafter. So let me explain. Excuse the light shining that. I need to bring the lights right over my page because it's so bad. This will be the top piece. This will be the bottom, like this top, and you can't see the bottom. The top piece I tend to stamp about the center because when it slides out, that's the perfect position for it. So I will put this about here. Grand. The bottom piece doesn't seem to come out quite so far, so I tend to put this one more to the bottom of the little layer, like that. Grand. Next I want to say for the new two, and I'm going to use, oh sorry, I'd forgotten about my baked brown sugar. I knew there was something missing. Also retiring. Oh, that's such a brilliant one. When I first seen baked brown sugar, I thought, what am I going to do with that? And now I love it. I don't know how I'm going to live without it. Okay, for the new two in here. And the next piece, now this is from the stamp set Label Love. I have just purchased this. I've just purchased the punch as well to match it, and now it's retiring. It is gorgeous. It's fab. If you haven't got it, try and get it now if it's not already sold out. Now I'm not using the whole of this stamp. That's not what I'm after. It has to and from. I know you can't see it, but all I want is the to and from. So I'm going to use baked brown sugar marker, also retiring, and the brush end, and I'm just going to apply the ink carefully to the words that I want to put onto my stamped image. It's quite fine, so you need to make sure that it's well covered. Okie dokie. And what I'll do, give that a wee quick huff. I'm not going to show you that on camera. You don't want to see my huffy face. And stamp, try and stamp over to the right. It's hard to judge, but let's see if I get it anywhere near right. Fingers crossed. Yay, not too bad. Not too bad at all. So layer this up. I will put everything onto my blog, all the dimensions and materials, etc., and you'll be able to follow it properly from there. So I'm quickly just going to ink this up. Whoops-a-daisy. I'm just using the multi-purpose, the Tombow multi-purpose at the minute. I love it. It's a great glue. It's very, very strong. Okay, I've quickly mounted the two little pieces up onto the crisp cantaloupe cardstock, and now we're going to start positioning them. This is the most important piece. So close your card base over as you would when it was finished. This is the front piece, obviously, with the little piece cut out. If you find you've any wee pieces at the bottom sticking out, sorry, my scissors are a bit messy, just give it a wee trim off. Okay, so if you look down onto this, let's see if you can see this, there's a front section and a back section. So the top piece for the two of you is going to slip into the front piece, and you slide it down just to the top and hold it and turn it round, and the bottom piece, turn it upside down obviously, and the way it's going to come out, you slip into the back piece there. Again, just to the bottom. That's that. So once you open it carefully, you'll see how it's going to sit. So what I want to do is, this is going to flip over and stick face down onto this. I just want to sort of get the position right, and I need some sticky strip. Kind of line this up with the bottom of your card base, so you can tell where you want your sticky strip to be, no higher than. So I can put it down a little bit. It doesn't need to be exactly on the thing. Yeah, at last. That's terrible. Okay, as I say, that's going to come down this way, so turn it over, align the bottom up here. I hope you can see that okay. Don't want to bring it in too much. Line it up at the bottom, hold it, make sure that it's sort of evenly between your crease lines as well. You don't want it sort of coming out crooked or in the middle, or crooked or at the side or anything. Let's see, and let it drop down onto the sticky strip. Turn it over and do the same process. So you line that up to the top. This one will go to the bottom because the top is coming right out. So determine where the bottom of it will sit and just go a little bit before that. Right, now this piece will be coming out. Let me just check, make sure I get it right. Should be this way, let's see, yeah. So this needs to be face up. Again, line it up with the edge of your card, between the two panel lines, let it drop. Let it drop and don't let it slip. And that should be that. So to fold it over, close it in on itself to the middle and over again. Now this wee bit, this is your bottom panel here, that's going to slide out the bottom, but you want to take your flap and get it over that piece because you want to stick it to this and not to the back of the flap. So get it over that and that will close that way, but we're not sticking it right now, we're going to test the mechanism. So here goes, fingers crossed. Yay, it works. Woohoo! Now that's not to say that it's going to work once I stick it. The important thing that we need to remember when we're doing this is not to not to assemble it too tightly. I'm going to turn that over, let's see. I'm such a faff, honestly. Right, a bit of sticky strip just along that little piece. Okay, let's see. As I said, we need to get it over the back panel, tuck that in, get it down. I'm not the best at this. I tend to be all thumbs. Hold it over, let it fall down. Don't push it down too tightly, just do it loosely in case you need to undo it. I don't need to. Woohoo, thank goodness. Now I can seal it more tightly, but my mechanism's working. Yippee. Okay, next thing. line this up to the top, like that. Get your pen and a tiny dot in the middle where you want to do your hole punch. I'm just using my crocodile and I'm going to use the small hole punch for this. Let's see, just line it up by eye. And I am so stupid, I punched right through both of them. Pretend I didn't do that. What you don't do when you're going to punch it, you've got to pull it out and punch it, otherwise it'll punch through the back as well. I wasn't thinking, my head's ahead of myself, thinking of what I have to do next. Okay, and the next bit. Right, I'm going to use the little cake image from the stamp set, and I'm going to use baked brown sugar to stamp the outline because it's just slightly softer than the black, obviously, and stamp it onto my image. There's not a great deal of room here, so I need to make sure that's centered up okay. Yeah, that's grand. There's a wee bit of something there, but it doesn't matter. I'm using my blender pens, Stampin' Up! Blender pens for this. Now, these have been removed from sale. There has been a problem with some of them. I think I've only had to return one set. All of my sets, and I've got them in practically every colour, are fine. But they've decided, they're a company that obviously thrives on the reputation, and they decided, rather than damage the reputation, they've removed them for now. I'm hoping that they bring them back because I love them. I really love them. If you haven't got the blender pens, just use your normal Stampin' Right markers. They're grand. This is the pink Pirouette pen. Now, I know I'm using Crisp Cantaloupe on this, and you could use that here, but I wanted to use pink. I'm using the lightest blender pen. Let me move this out of the way. Like using the lightest blender pen, I basically just colour our little doves. It is doves, isn't it, in a wedding? I think. Just very, very lightly. I do the whole of the cake. Okay. I bring my medium in. Again, like the markers, these have two ends, a brush end and a pen end. And they are hard to get. Oops a daisy, I'm wrecking everything around me. Now I'm bringing this one just about halfway down. Okay, can you see the difference in the shades? And now my darkest one I will do on the icing on the bottom of the little birds. If you were doing this properly with blender pens, you'd go over the whole thing again. Let me show. Actually, I will do it with the lightest one to blend the colours in, and when that dries in, you'll be able to see the proper blend effect. There we go. And last, oh, it's not actually last. The next thing I'm going to do is my baked brown sugar. I can't leave things alone, and I do have a little mark on this somehow, so I'm just going to bring a bit of shading into this side. Not too much. There we go. And finally, yes, my pair of pizzazz, and I use the pen end just to colour these in. I want them green. Now, you need a bit of a steady hand for this. There we go. A little cake. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So just mount it up. Right, I put the dimensionals on the back of my little cake piece. I want to put a piece of twine. Now this is crisp cantaloupe twine that I have, not from this year's celebration, but from last year's actually. So unless you have it already, you won't be able to get it, but you could use white or whatever your card colour stock is, if you're not using something that's no longer available. I just tied a little bit of the crisp cantaloupe onto that. That's that piece, and the next thing I want to do is to put some around it. Right, I'm going to use this crisp cantaloupe thick twine. Now this is, as I say, retired cardstock. Let me zoom that out again. The next thing I'm going to use is the Modern Label Punch. This sadly is also retiring. Can't believe they're retiring this. I love it so much. And that's your card finished. Isn't that beautiful? I hope you've enjoyed that, even for all my mistakes and bumbling through it. But more details, as I say, are on my blog, and I will put that detail up at the end of this video. And that's it for now, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye for now.